Tonight, News Center 4's Anthony Moore shows us what we might find in the Bay Area in 2020.
The pace of change is so ferocious, the world is unrecognizable.
The rich literally buy immortality.
It is actually almost impossible to preserve meaningful privacy.
Listen to echoes of the future from the visionaries of today.
We're going to have wearable computing.
About 3/4 of the baby boomers will be cyborg.
The Bay Area in 2020.
We're going to learn how to live with less space per person. I call it elegant density.
1.4 million more people, a majority minorities. Twice as many over age 65 as now, a startling number over 85. 4 times as many workers commuting in from outside our region as now. Urban sprawl as far as Modesto. In effect, we're 19 counties, not 9.
In many ways, your life will resemble our lives today. Computer, turn off the light by the window. But in some startling ways, it will be very different. Play the video.
You might live here in a development that hasn't even been built yet. It's San Benito County in the far South Bay, where the growth has shifted. And you might commute to a regional job site in another South Bay community that hasn't even been founded yet.
Industry will have dramatically evolved. Hewlett-Packard research chief Stan Williams predicts today's breakneck pace of computer innovation will continue to accelerate, spawning 3 swift revolutions in biotech, microscopic computing, and information technology by 2020.
And we're probably actually going to see entire industries grow and crash within about a decade period of time.
So your husband or wife might be back in school, studying for a second career, or maybe she's pregnant again at age 55. Your son, the artist, has fled to where the young are living, Oakland. He's part of a virtual commune creating internet graffiti art. Your daughter's just been accepted to the newest prestige tech school, Hewlett-Packard University. Good news, because you'll be able to turn off your robotic dog once and for all. On the other hand, your 85-year-old mother-in-law has decided it's not enough to be present in your home via 24-hour video link. She's moving in with her new lover, the first generation to realize that long life means you can live many lives.
If you're continually able to refresh yourself and reinvent yourself, you're going to do very well. But if you can't, or if you won't for whatever reason, you fall further and further behind.
You'll probably commute in a near-zero emission car because regional planners say there's no money earmarked for any new modes of transportation, even though we'll spend about $90 billion on infrastructure.
About 80% of the money we'll be spending over the next 20 years is just to fill potholes and replace worn-out buses.
There are far-fetched ideas about high-speed rail or networks of ferries, but you're more likely to see fleets of regional express buses. Thankfully, your car will be smarter. Researcher Jennifer Healy is taping electrodes to her body, then driving in traffic to see if cars can be taught to recognize when you're stressed.
You'll be able to feed that into appliances for your car, like a cell phone interrupter that causes your cell phone not to ring when you're stressed out, or even an alert that gets sent to your significant other to warn them that you'll be in a bad mood when you get home because you just went through terrible traffic.
More good news, planners say your 2020 commute will take about the same time as today, 25 minutes, because you won't tolerate any longer. But that's why there'll be so much expansion in far reaches of the Bay Area. people and jobs will move further and further out to maintain a reasonable proximity.
That's come at a cost, and the cost is that we're gobbling up more and more open space to make that work.
You may not go to a desk. Instead, you might use a mobile workspace, like this, says design guru David Kelly.
Picture a big open warehouse, and you come into work, and if you're the first one there, the second one there, whatever you are, there's a bunch of these vehicles. Maybe even drive in this vehicle, I'm not sure, in 2020, but it's got all your personal stuff in it. You take your company identification, you swipe it through that one of the little holes there, and then all your information is downloaded here, and then you can drive it to where you want to be that day in the company.
It's a symbol of the volatility of the workplace in 2020.
Time for a reality check. In the next 20 years, the digital divide could become a gaping chasm. High-tech haves pushing the no-tech have-nots out to Fresno. It could foment war. China, for example, is a growing military power and a technological backwater. Just the kind of disparity military historians say could spark conflict. Then there's bioterror. Before 2020, a single assassin could spawn a deadly epidemic with the push of an aerosol can in an airport.
And don't forget the inevitable Bay Area big quake. The U.S. Geological Survey says the chances are 70% the big one will hit by 2030. 4,000 people could die. Some experts suggest we're sucking the Earth's resources dry.
There's this whole layer of limits.
Environmental studies professor Danella Meadows has created computer models that predict environmental collapse as early as 2020. She warned the world with her book, Limits to Growth, in 1972, and has been updating it ever since.
I could see ahead to 2020 when we are using, on this planet, 1/4 as much fossil fuels as we are right now, and still having a thriving economy. And I could also see that we don't go that direction, and that the climate is going way more haywire than anything that we've seen so far.
Well, catastrophe or not, in the next 20 years, our lives will be upended. Prepare for rapid growth to the south, new business boom and bust, and an ever-accelerating lifestyle. Bay Area 2020 continues tonight at 11. Futurists predict the next 20 years. You can read and discuss life in the future on sfgate.com. Today's featured article, Sex in 2020. And the Chronicle is visualizing the future of the Bay Area in a special section today, The Long View, and throughout the paper this week. And tomorrow, right here at 6, find out why, in 2020, you might feel and look even younger than you do today.
Fascinating report.
Now there's a thought.